Oh, and I want to just thank Pam for bringing us together for tonight's meet and greet with Brandy and the opportunity to talk about the issues that matter most in our community. So I'm going to pass it on. Pam, please share why you support Brandy and are hosting this meet and greet.
Thank you. I randomly attended a meet and greet. I'm not even sure how it came through my feed, but I clicked on and I attended it and I said, wow, I could do that. But I attended because, I hate going to the ballot box and I look through all these names and I've got to choose four, or I've got to choose two, and I don't know who any of the people are. And you're just going, okay, I'm just going to, hopefully this person is someone I support. I don't know, but I don't want to wait till June 28th or November to have that experience. So I want to be educated. So I just figured everybody else does and everybody else should. So that was my reason for bringing us together. And I want to thank everyone who in my channels who are here with us tonight. I know I sent quite a few little reminders. Sorry about that. I know I need a lot of reminders. But a couple things. I feel like the at-large seats, which kind of gets, overlooked sometimes, I think are really important parts of our structure, because those people are sort of the common denominators and can be the people who bring everything together. So I think, the more we think strongly about those at-large seats, the better. And then what I was really taken in meeting Brandy, and some of you know that last time we had, I think, was it 34 people ran for the 4 seats? So it was really hard to figure out who you want to vote for when there was 34 people running for 4 seats. But Brandy, you were one of those, and I think came in pretty close to landing one of those seats. And good for you to get right back out there and make it happen this time. But what I was really taken with was Brandy's energy and enthusiasm, and in particular, was really 2 things that I was taken with it. We've got a lot of big things looming ahead in our world and in our community, and the approach that we have to engage all levels of our community and get people involved, because we got a lot of things to solve, which I really, really liked that approach, and your embracing of the Green New Deal and some of your discussions. And I would like you to, I know there's people on this call who are very environmentally active and focused, but your focus on the environment, and in particular the part about local food distribution, which I thought was a very interesting, and I support that quite a bit. So I will now turn it over to Brandy, since I can talk and talk, and let's hear from you.
Thank you so much, Pamela. Thank you very much for hosting all of us. And thank you so much to all of you for joining us. I know that you can choose a lot of different ways to spend your Thursday evening, and I appreciate that you're spending it here. And I love, Pam, what you were talking about in terms of wanting to make sure that when we go to fill out that ballot, whether we're doing it at home and mailing it in, or whether we're going to a polling location, that we really feel like we have the knowledge about what's happening in our local elections. And I know as a voter, I've had that experience so many times of going to a local election, looking at these names and feeling like I didn't know anything about the candidates. And it's something, one of the reasons why we've been running our campaign for over a year now, is because we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to get out into communities, to talk to people about the upcoming election, to talk to people about the importance of the primary election in particular, especially in a county like Montgomery County that is so heavily Democratic, and to make sure that as we go and exercise this power that we have to choose our political leadership, that we're able to do so where we can feel really informed and engaged and confident about the choices that we're making. Because I think it's so important. And I think when we don't have the opportunity to do that, sometimes our democracy can feel really disheartening and can feel really distant from us. So I appreciate all of you taking that time to get more informed and engaged, and hopefully over the next 4.5 months as we head into the primary, to help spread that knowledge and that engagement to the folks that you know. Once again, my name is Brandy Brooks. I use she, her pronouns. I am a renter and a housing and environmental justice advocate living in Kensington. And I'm very, very excited to be running for Montgomery County Council at Large for the second time. I'm thrilled that it's not 33 people because it certainly does make for much easier candidate forums and a lot less confusion for both voters as well as candidates. The number one question that you get asked as a candidate is why are you running for office? And for every person, there are so many different things that shape that about your family, your background, your values, your personal and professional experience. But when I boil it down to the simplest answer for me, it's really two things. It's because I'm an organizer and I believe that we deserve better. I believe that we deserve better housing options that will actually be accessible and affordable and sustainable for us throughout all the various stages of our lives and of our families. I believe that we deserve a better economy that actually supports all of us to thrive, to work with dignity, and that respects workers and small business owners as the foundation of our prosperity. I believe that we deserve better transportation options so that we can actually get around this big, beautiful county that we have, do it easily, do it efficiently, and do it in a way that doesn't mortgage our planet's future in order to be able to get around efficiently and accessibly. And I believe that we deserve better public leadership that is really going to listen to and center our voices, that recognizes our knowledge and our experience as critical pieces of the decision-making process. Leadership that wants to be rooted in our communities, wants to be gathering us, engaging us, and bringing together all of the knowledge and the diversity of this county to really make sure that when we plot public policy, when we make decisions about budgets, when we try and shape the systems that shape our lives, that we're doing so and we're not missing perspectives and we're not leaving people out or leaving people behind. And for me, that's also where the organizer part comes in. As someone who has been doing social and environmental justice organizing and advocacy for more than 15 years, I know from talking to people in the communities where I've lived that they are full of absolutely brilliant, inspired people, people with deep knowledge and experience around the challenges that we are facing in our communities, people who understand both the things that are going wrong, the hard things that we're facing, and who also are visionary and creative and thinking about what the kind of solutions are that we could develop together. I know that there's so much intelligence, so much passion, so much skill that lives within our communities. And I know, I say this to people all the time. I've got a great brain. I like my brain. It's fantastic, but it's one brain. And for a county of over 1 million people, that one brain is not going to be enough to generate the solutions that we need when we are facing, as Pamela said, some really critical issues in our communities, when we are facing a deep and abiding affordable housing and eviction crisis that is threatening thousands of families and tens of thousands of our residents, when we are facing issues of growing economic inequality, the ongoing impacts of the pandemic, not only on people's health, but also on their livelihoods and their ability to keep a roof over the head and put food on the table. When we need to continue to face the challenges of trying to emerge from this pandemic period, which we're still very much in. And when we need to figure out how locally we are going to address both resilience and mitigation when it comes to the threat of climate change, where we are already seeing these impacts in our communities and around the world. And we know that the time that we have left to try and address this before it goes from catastrophic to absolutely disastrous is very, very short. The other place that organizing comes in for me is that I am very, very clear that we will not get the things that we need and that we deserve without a fight. The systems that have been established are designed to produce the things that we are seeing in the world. There are folks who benefit from wealth inequality. There are folks who benefit from people being insecure in their housing or their employment. There are folks who have benefited from economic degradation and the degradation of people and communities that always accompanies it. And as Frederick Douglass said, power concedes nothing without a demand. And so if we are going to meet the powers that currently control and shape our systems, we have to organize our power. We have to recognize that together we have a tremendous ability to marshal that knowledge and that skill, those resources, that experience that we carry within our communities to come and meet the forces that are trying to keep us from being able to live in dignity and joy, and to reshape systems so that they support our well-being. When we are able to organize ourselves, our ideas, our resources, we are able to make tremendous change. And this has always been true throughout our history, not only in the United States, but across the world. And I firmly believe in our collective power. That's not just a phrase for me. I know that as a Black and Latina woman running for office, that I'm able to do that because there are people in my history, people in my lineage who organize their power to make sure that I could contest for elected office in the United States. And I want to see us organize our power for the things that we can secure for future generations, for making sure that our children and grandchildren, my niece lives here in Montgomery County as well. I want her to be able to grow up, to go to school in a place that supports her, to choose to live here in Montgomery County if this is where she wants to stay. I want my mother, who also lives here in the county, to be able to age here in the county and feel supported and like she can get around. I want to know that as someone who rents my house, that I will always be able to find safe and affordable housing near the amenities that make my life easy. And I want to know that we will make sure that we protect this planet for ourselves and for many, many generations to come. So what I'm really excited about, what gets me fired up, as you can see, about elections, is that when we organize, we have the opportunity to transform our understanding of the political process. It's not just this thing where we go every 2 or 4 years and hope and pray that the people that we choose are going to do right by us. I believe in a movement building politics that is building our leadership, that is supporting our power, that is supporting our voice and our right to shape public policy every day of every year throughout every election cycle. And I want to see us through this election and through the things that happen after, continue to build our ability to participate in shaping these decisions. So I'm really excited about the opportunity to have conversations with you all about the things that are priorities, the things that you're seeing in our county that we think are really important, the things that are going well that we want to make sure to support and encourage and help to grow, and the challenges that we are facing. I know some of the key things that are always on my heart and my mind as an organizer and as a resident of Montgomery County are, again, around our housing, around understanding how we are going to ensure that people can continue to live securely here, around how we think about economic development in a brand new way that prioritizes wages, good safety for workers, good working conditions, that make sure that we are making capital, that we are making space available to the thousands of small businesses that operate already here in Montgomery County because people have chosen to build their businesses and their lives here in this county because they love it as much as we do. And I definitely want to make sure that as we are building solutions to the climate crisis, as we are looking at how we protect our environment, that we do it in a way that is just, that supports what we call a just transition, that makes sure that we understand that the root causes of environmental degradation and the root causes of racial and wealth inequality are the same. And that we have to, in building solutions, craft things that will both heal our planet, but understand that we can't heal our planet, that we can't achieve sustainability if it is still built on a foundation of inequality. And so, you know, the last thing I always love to talk about is why I'm running at large, because it is a big county, 500 square miles, lots of different communities. And some people say that it will be easier to run a district race. But what I love about running at large is that I get to take a look at that whole picture of our county in all of its tremendous diversity, the diversity of people, the diversity of places, the diversity of types of communities, the diversity of land use. And I get to think about how we are all connected to and interdependent with one another. And that, I think, again, is critical to our thriving, to our sustainability, for us to understand ourselves as a county, as a connected whole, where no part of our county can thrive unless all of us are thriving, where we figure out how to heal divides between East and West County, between up and down county. And we begin to understand that when we take care of each other collectively, we all do better when we all do better. And so I'm really excited to talk with you. I'm really excited to hear your questions about the things that are also on your heart and mind. And I'm excited to talk with you about how we build toward those things that we need and that we deserve through this election. Thanks so much. Sure, great question. Thank you, Susan. So starting with this first question,